Hi guys, my name is Ainolumide Olayinka. I'm here at P Consultant at Pinmetrics Limited. We are going to be seeing um, a business process for Quest Group being implemented on Sage 200 Evolution. So let's look at the business process first. Let me make this bold. So So we have participants in this process to be customer, depot manager, or dispatch officer, accounts, department, which is auditor also, and the security. So the process starts from the customer making payments to pick a particular order, which is PMS. They want to pick PMS. And at this point, when they get to the depot manager or the dispatch officer needs to confirm if the payment has actually been made. Now, it sends a request or makes a confirmation with the account department. So, account department check their records or check whatever document they have regarding this to confirming the payment has been made. If the payment has been made, then it goes to the next stage of raising um, a sales order. But before the sales order is raised, there are some requirement that needs to be on that sales order. So we need to also know the trucks. How many trucks has this customer brought to pick up his PMS? So is it picking up everything or is just picking up parts? If the customer has not paid, then which means this process comes to an end. So that's when you see this. Now, let's look at when the customer has made payment. If the customer has made payment, the account department would have to get the details of the truck, maybe the truck rider, the truck driver, the plate number, or any code associated to the truck. Now, let's assume he's not picking up the whole thing. He didn't bring enough truck to pick up the volume of PMS he has purchased. So, um, the payment he made would actually reflect the quantity or the volume of PMS he needs to pick. If the volume, if you can pick up the whole thing, fine. It goes to the next stage of look at this now. We have available. So he picks up the whole thing. But if he did not bring enough truck to pick it up, which means he has to provide another truck. So look at this, not available. That is, he cannot pick up. He does not have enough truck to pick up the whole thing. So until when he provides more truck to pick up, it can come in 2 days, it can come in 3 days, it can come in whatever days. Then if the truck is available, it comes to this level also, then it continues. The process continues at this level, whereby since the account department has been able to confirm the truck that is available to pick up and details of the truck, they capture a sales order. They capture a sales order. Now, at the point of capturing a sales order, they will impute the total volume of PMS he has paid for. But they will also include what he can pick up. So let's look at an example of he has paid, this particular customer has paid for, let's say, 3,000 liters. And based on the truck he brought, he can only pick up 10,000 liters. So at this point, he captures the account officer or the sales representative captures 33,000 and also 10,000 for pickup. Then at this point, he prints a picking slip. So that picking slip actually confirms what is available for him to pick up. Before you can do that, there's another approval here. You can see at the auditor. So an auditor is also a participant in this level. So the auditor would have to approve the picking slip or the sales order that has been raised. So if he approves it, it moves to the next stage. If he does not approve it, it goes back, maybe for modification. Maybe it could be that the details of the truck was not provided there, or the quantity was not actually provided there. So it goes back to this level. Otherwise, it moves on. So if it moves on, there is a process that has also been added here, which means that the auditor would have to transfer. So the system as at now does not have an approval level. So this process would have to be done out of the system. So if you look at each of the tasks on this process, you see two colors. There is a green and there is a black. So a green means process that are not done within the system, while the black means they are done within the system. So that process, that particular process is automated. For instance, if they need to confirm payments, they don't confirm payments. If the client or the customer has made payment, they confirm it outside the system. If a request is made by a customer, it is done outside the system. If there is truck available for pickup, it's done outside the system. So the process, going back to where we stopped, now, because we want to make the auditor a participant within the application, even though if he approves outside the system, he can also process an activity within the application. The document has where he can sign on the document, where he can sign for a picking slip, or after signing, he can as well do a transfer. When products are purchased into the system or when they're captured into the system, it's captured into like a main warehouse. When customer has been confirmed to make payment for a volume, for a particular volume of quantity of product rather, it is transferred to the customer's warehouse. It is transferred to the customer's warehouse. Then from the customer's warehouse, then you can issue out from there. Just because we also want a process that, oh, after you are transferred, we should be able to sign a document. So at this point, the account officer sends documents to the depot manager or the dispatch officer, and also send another document to the customer. So these two, so he receives a picking slip. So both of them receive a picking slip, which shows the total quantity that was paid for, the total quantity that is picking up as at that point in time. Then at this point, the dispatch officer or the depot manager would have to issue or release stock that has been approved for pickup. So he will have to issue or release stock that has been approved for pickup. So immediately that is done, the system automatically prints two documents, which is goods issued voucher to actually show that those products or those volume of product has been issued out, and also process or print out a way bill which is shown to the security officers before the customer can be allowed to take his product out of the premises. So it's more like you saying that the goods issued voucher is the document for internal purpose. The account department will definitely need this, which shows that a product has been issued out. So we call that particular document goods issued voucher. That is the same document they will use in processing the customer's invoice. They will use that to process the customer invoice. Note, you cannot process a customer invoice at the beginning because you are still in custody of the products. So you issue out customer invoice in piecemeal, that is, as the product is being picked. But the sales order is what actually shows that this particular customer has paid for this volume of products. So it moves like that till the end. So this ends the process. Now let's look at the same process within the Sage 200 evolution. Before we look at that, let's look at the participants so that we will be needing within the system. If you look at all this, the customer definitely will not be using the system. So you can see everything in green here. All these activities are in green. So the customer won't be using the system at all. But we would need an agent or a user. In Sage Evolution, um, users are recognized as agents. So the users are people that actually log in to perform some of these tasks within the business process. Look at this now. So what I would do is, let me exit this screen. Okay. So now let's look at some of, look at this. So we have a cashier or account officer who will be responsible to capture the payments that was made by the customer. We have the auditor also who is going to be checking the sales order that has been raised and approve it. Then we have a salesperson here who will also raise the sales order. Then we have a dispatch officer who is to release the product and also um, generate a way bill. Then the invoicing officer is the user or the agent that is supposed to process the invoice on the customer details. So let's move on to the system. So how we minimize this so we can have a better view of the screen. So the first person is the cashier. So let me use the cashier for instance. Okay, before I go into the cashier, let me use admin to log in so that you can see the functions that are available. Let me use admin to log into the system. This is not a training process. This is just for me to show you how to walk you around the application. So I may not be saying some things. Let me just wait. Okay, so if you look at these, you will see that I have a full module here. Why? Because I've been able to, I'm logging in with an administrator. I have administrative rights on this particular document, on this particular database. Look at this. You can see I have a full module around here. Also note something, please. We are using a test environment, so this is not live. So the data, the real data, are not being shown. So whatever information we are using here are not the real information. So we are going to be playing with figures and values. So these are not reals, but creating scenarios for us to practice. So look at this now. Look at this. So I have a full module here. So I'm going to exit here and log in with a cashier. So let's assume the customer had walked in to the depot. The cashier or the account officer would have to confirm outside the system to be able to be sure. Now, after confirmation that this particular customer has made payment, then he needs to also come onto the system to capture what the customer has paid for. So I'm logging in with um, what's it called? With a cashier detail. Now we have restricted some of the activities here to what they are supposed to do alone, to the task they are supposed to perform. So let's look at some things here now. Look at this. So for instance, this cashier has just this. So unlike the other one where you saw a long list of modules, so here is just like 2 or 3 modules that are available here. So what I'll do is now let me capture. Before we capture, I would like us to see. Let's pick one customer. Let's pick a customer so that we can actually see if the customer is empty. I have a few minutes here. Let's just rush this. So I'll pick a customer. Let's see if I can pick a customer statement. So it's only one customer that has value. So this customer, DCG Global Energy, has just this alone. So I'm not going to use this. So I use that as to do my testing before making this video. So I'll pick. Let's now use it. Let's look for another customer. So we can use any other customer except DCG, except that DCG. So let's look for a customer that we're going to use. So let me just look for a list of customers here. So I'm going to be using this customer 2, Burning Light Energy. So this is the customer I'm going to be using. This particular customer does not have transactions in it. So does not have transactions in it. So now let's start. So first thing is let's check. Let's make what's it called? Let's receive money from this particular customer. Let's receive money from this particular customer, and let's use Fidelity Bank. Let's use this Fidelity Bank. Okay, so let's assume this customer came in around let's say May. Let's say May 4th or May 3rd. Let's say May 3rd. And I'll pick the customer details here. So this is the customer. He made payments. I can just put a reference. Give a reference to that document, which means whatever reference that is on the source document is what is written there. I can say payments for, let's say 33,000 of, let's say 50,000 liters. I can say 50,000 liters of PMS. That's what the customer bought. So he made a deposit of, let's say 50,000 coming. Let's see, this customer is making 50,000. That's, let's say 550. That's what it's sold. So this is what the customer actually paid for. He paid 27,000. He paid 27.5 million. So 27,500, 1, 2, 3. Right? So on this date, so I have this. So I'm capturing this on this customer statement. So when I'm done, I can validate it and post it. I just post it. I don't need to print it, but yes, I want to post it. Yeah, posted successfully. I don't need to allocate it. I don't have any invoice I want to allocate it to at that point. So now I have posted that. Let's look at something after posting that. Let's check the customer statement. Excuse me. Let's check the customer statement. So at this point, I can always check the customer statement to confirm if the customer, if I've been able to capture the details of what the customer paid for. So that is in form of cash receipt. No order has been raised regarding that. So let's look at this now. So let me just, I don't want to filter any customer, but you can definitely filter if you wish to. So now there are two. This was, okay, this is it. This is the second one we saw the other time. This is the second one we saw the other time. So this DCG that was there before. Now this is it, Burning Light Energy. So has this balance in a statement. Now that's for the customer statement. Now, how do the cashier or the account officer has done that part of entering the value of the money you received from the customer. Now, let's exit this. So the next process, what did we say would be on the next process? So Look at this. Okay, we've confirmed payment. He paid, yes. Oof. Sorry, please tell me. I think I closed that, but let me just see if I can quickly. Okay. Okay. So look at this now. Okay, now we have all this information of truck number and all that. Then what I just do is let me exit this for us to see. Then just go down to don't need that anymore. Then I come down to okay, then I go down here and say, okay, sales officer. So I want the sales officer to capture the transaction. So at this point, I need to enter the quantity, the truck details, the total volume of what the customer actually paid for, the product. I need to capture it in this form. Okay, so now this is a sales officer. If you look at his own function, it's totally different from that of the cashier also. So what he needs to do is to just capture or raise the sales order. So for him to raise that, he will just go to this customer. Okay, so sales order. Now it needs to pick, look at all the functions that are actually available and have been streamlined to what it can do alone. So for the sales officer, we pick the customer, which is burning light energy. Then it needs to also pick the date. I think we did of 3rd of May. Now this will also be due on same date. Okay. Then here I'll pick here I'll pick um, PMS. which is what the customer actually paid for. I pick PMS. At this point, I need to pick the warehouse. This is the available product in all the warehouses together. This is the total PMS combined together. But by the time I streamline it to a particular warehouse, if I streamline it to this, you can see no quantity available. But I'm looking for the warehouse for burning light. So this warehouse has been created for burning light energy. So you just pick the warehouse. You can see that there is no available stock yet. Yes. It is a control that has been created so that the user would have to initiate from an empty warehouse. But the auditor would have to transfer to that warehouse. So transferring to that warehouse actually confirms that he has approved that particular what's it called? That particular request, that particular order that has been raised. So let's assume the total quantity this person was supposed to pick is 50,000, right? So write 50,000 here. That's the total quantity he needs to pick. But he does not have enough truck to pick the whole thing. So they need to now enter what is he supposed to pick. Let's say he's supposed to pick just 15, for instance. Just put 15 here. So automatically, then I put the price, let's say 550, right? So immediately you do that, the system computes the total. This is what the customer actually paid for, and this is what he's picking because that's the truck available. So which means it will definitely have an outstanding quantity or volume of product to pick later. So now, another thing that is important is that we need to capture these details. We need to capture truck number. So the truck numbers that are available, for instance, it could be 10, it could be 5. So all I just need to do. Now, my assumption is that the truck that are supposed to be cleared at the gates are entered together. But if we want it to be entered by detail, that is quantity that each truck pick, that can also be done. But my assumption is that we don't need to know the quantity each truck is picking because the truck is not actually for Quest. But what they just want to do is to make sure that they capture the truck that came to pick up. So I'll just enter a truck number. Let me just say this 3445. Then I say another one, ES. Let's assume this is it. I just have two trucks that I'm using to pick up. Now, it is also important to enter amount confirmed there. Now, the reason why we are entering the amount here also is because the picking slip that is going to be sent to the customer does not have the amount he paid for. So, but with this, if we enter this here, it will actually show them the amount they paid for. Remember, the amount they paid for had been captured. So, except you want to print their customer statement and also give them this also. You understand? But just based on assumption that this is the only document that is sent to the customer or given to the customer. So I'll just enter how much did this customer pay. Do I even do that? So I think the customer paid So I don't know. Okay, let's say I think 50,000. Okay, 27.5. I think so. Times 550. Yeah, 27.5. So 27. So I entered this 27,500. So let's assume that's the amount that has been confirmed. Oh, sorry, even the value is here. I didn't notice that. So that is the amount, but this is not going to show in our picking slip. So that's why we're writing this here. So immediately we do this. All we just need to do, remember this is what's it called? A sales officer that is capturing this, or the sales officer can be at the accounts department. I don't know, but in a normal scenario, the sales and marketing are responsible for this. So let's say I click on place order. You want to print, I can say yes. To print a picking slip. To print a picking slip, well, okay, this particular, let me show you, that report has been customized, but let's see. Some of this report has been customized for this training or for this process, sorry, or for this workshop. Let me just check something. Okay, so let's do this. So let's reprint that. You can always reprint your document at any point in time. So now this is what I'm saying now. Okay, if you look at the other one, that does not have this. So if you look at this now, you can see the confirmed amount is here. Understand? So this shows the total quantity that was raised, while quantity for pick up is just 15,000. Now the truck number is here. So the auditor can decide to print this manually and sign this, audited by day, then sign. This particular report can definitely be customized. So this, I don't know, these are the information I assume that will be needed apart from the logo and other details information. The amount, the truck number that's supposed to pick. This is not yet your way B. This is not your way B. This is just a document that actually shows that yes, you can go and pick up your product, or you can go and you can take this to the store officer or the dispatch officer. So taking this to dispatch officer now. So let's close this. So this is done. This is done. So I just close this. Understand? So I'll exit this also. Now it is now time for the dispatch. No, before the dispatch officer. Remember, the auditor is actually meant to sign or approve it manually. That is done outside the system. But because we want to involve the auditor too in this process, we said the auditor should do an activity called transfer. So he transfer from the main warehouse to the customer warehouse. If at the at, at the level it is now, if the dispatch officer tries to issue out the item, there is no stock available for him to issue out. Yeah. Let's go to dispatch officer. Then we'll go back to auditor. Let me just so that you can understand what I'm saying. So let's go to this. I say okay. dispatch officer, dispatch officer. We'll still come back, but let's just go to dispatch officer first. Each process can actually have a notification. You can send a notification to the participant or to those responsible for each task. So let's see what happens here. This is taking time, but let's watch. Okay, so I think it's on now. Okay. Okay, hold on. So now all I just need to do is to pick. Yeah, still trying to load. Okay, so let's assume the dispatch officer want to process that particular document that has been raised. Let's assume he needs to process it. What he needs to do is to just come to open here and look for that particular document. Finds the document. Here's the document. You can see that it does not have any other function. You can see it does not have function here. You can't place order, you can't do any other thing except to issue out the stock. So at this point, what he has is to just release the stock. So for instance, now let's look at something. So look at this. Available quantity in this warehouse, which is this warehouse. This is the customer's warehouse. It's zero. So it cannot issue out. It cannot issue out. You can see the confirmed quantity is 15. So it cannot issue out. So the only let me try to do it so that you can see. You can see insufficient quantity available. So it cannot. So the only way it can issue out is when a warehouse transfer is done to this particular warehouse. So we will close this. This I just wanted to show you that. So we'll close that now. No, we don't need to save it. So I'll go out of this again. Now I'll go with the auditor. Now I'll log in as an auditor. So I'll log in as an auditor. So logging on to as an auditor, the only function the auditor has here is just to do a warehouse transfer. That is the only function he has. So we'll do this. So the auditor would have to transfer on the same date. Transfer date is 5th. Method. So the auditor will transfer from the master warehouse for PMS, which is this. That's the quantity available in this particular warehouse, and transfer into burning light energy. So this is burning light energy warehouse. Then what's the quantity is transferred? So it's transferred the whole 50. Since it is 50,000 that was purchased, so I can just use any reference here. Any reference here will be fine. Then I validate this and post it. Validation is just to confirm that the information you enter is fine. If I want to print it, yes, but if you don't need to print it, you can just, are you sure you want to post it? Yes. Posted successfully. So that particular product has been transferred into the customer's warehouse. Now, auditor has approved it. So that's the process we can create for approval within the system. Now, dispatch officer. So let's look at the how will the dispatch officer release the products. The only way he needs to do is just to come down to his transaction, pull the same document. It is a single document that is initialized from the beginning till the end. Then open and find the document. So, so this is the document. Yeah. So this is the document. I'm going to change this. Sort of May. So now this is the document. So all he needs to do is just to click on issue stock. Issue stock. cancel this. You can see that this available quantity, you can see it's now 50 as against 0. So account is over times. Let me open it again. I made some modification here. So yeah, so this is another, it's still asking if I want to print the same sales order. I may ignore this. No. Yeah, so do you want to print the sales order goods issued voucher? So I can say yes. Let's see how this goods issued voucher looks like. Let's see. Now, a delivery note also is required. So let's see. Let's see the first one before. So this is how the goods issued voucher looks like. So um, this is what can be sent to the account department so they can use it to generate their invoice. But still pulling the same document. So the same document is what will be converted into an invoice. So I close this. Now, do you want to print the sales order delivery note? So this is the same thing as your way bill. Delivery note is the same thing as way bill. So I say yes. So you can see this is the way bill. So you can see the ordered quantity, which was 50. The quantity, the current quantity, which is what he has picked up. Then also, if he comes tomorrow again to pick up another one, 15 will be here as previous. So and this process continues like this. So this ends this particular process. So like we have identified, I can close this now. So like we have identified, if for instance another sales order needs to be done, you understand? Maybe the customer comes another time to pick from his pending products. All you just need to do is to go back to to that aspect of, let's see this. If you look at it here, so it provides the truck, again available, you capture sales order, but this time around you don't need to capture a sales order. You just convert that particular. So this is what I'm trying to say. Let's go back to, since this needs a confirmation also. So I'll just use the example directly from here. Let's say sales order. So that we don't waste too much time. So I'll open my document and just come down to view again. So this same So you can now see that he has issued, the quantity issued is what? 15. Previously issued 15. The available quantity is what? 35. So if the customer comes tomorrow and say, oh, I don't want to, this time around, I want to pick up another 10. So you just put 10 here. Just put 10 here. Then let's see what would happen. There's a process issue here. You understand what it's doing here? There's a process issue here. Okay. Let's see this time. Right. There's a process issue here. Let me go back to here. I want to see something. I thought I was going to, I can. So because I don't have that function, so it's not allowing me to do it. So before I can continue, which means I have to leave this point. It's not allowing me to do that function. So I have to go back. That is, the customer comes another time. So I have to go back because I don't have that right to raise. So I have to go back. Now, at this point, I think sales, sales officer has the right to place the order. So let me just go out of that. I remember the customer, the auditor has issued the total quantity. So which means now it does not need to transfer any product again. It does not need to transfer anything again. So the initial transfer he has done is okay. So he only needs to approve it manually now. So um so still on sales order, here's the person that can place the sales order. So let's say he came back on, so I'll go back and open this. I say find. So this, so you can see it has issued 15. So everybody sees whatever. So this time around is 10 that he wants to issue out. 10,000. So you issued out 10,000 still at the same prices. So I can decide that it is the order. Okay. Okay, so I don't need to pick anything here again. Then I say place order. So you can, let's see. Let me just confirm it's going through. This is still showing 10,000. So this is 10,000. Then place order. Sure. So I'll go back. Check. Oh, so this is invoiced quantity. Um, oh, sorry. We are supposed to invoice this first before we can place another order. So that's where the issue is coming from. We are supposed to invoice this. So who has rights to invoice? Let's before we can place another order, we need to invoice that. That's invoicing officer. So the invoicing officer needs to invoice that document before we can place another order. So invoicing officer points. The same documents, you can use the same document to process the whole transaction. And it's even you can't use any other document. So let's open and trace that document. That document, which is this. So you can see invoice customer. It has only function to invoice, and it's going to invoice this customer with this quantity. Then let's say, let's look at. I still want to use 3rd of May. Then invoice customer. allowing you to choose that date. It's not allowing you to modify it. So then just doing based on access rights. Okay, do you want to print the sales order invoice documents? I'll say yes. Let's see how the sales order document looks like. The sales invoice document. Let's see how it looks like. So look at it. See that this is the delivery notes number for this particular invoice. This is the sales order number also. This is not, this can be modified. This is 15,000. Understand? So then we are done. Close this. So that's done. Let's print the document again. Let's see. Let's find the document again. This is not the document. And it does not have right. So let's go back. Let's go out of this. Let's go out of this back to our documents. So let's say the customer now comes back to pick up another set of products.